Hello folks, it's the Pace Chaser again. Welcome to another one of my videos. This is another one of the model reviews where we look at some of the older diecast releases that are available on the second-hand market. And today we've got the exclusive first editions EFE Leyland National in short two-door foam in London Transport livery. Now I know what you're thinking, Pace Chaser, you've done reviews of EFE Leyland Nationals before. Yes I have, but I make it there were about 14 different variations of the EFE Leyland National. That's between the long and the short versions, the Mark 1s and the Mark 2s, the different sorts of pod, the earlier long one, the later shorter pod, the ones with no pod at all, and the single and double door. So yeah, about 14 variations altogether. So it wouldn't really be possible to do a review that looked at all of them. It would be very, very long-winded indeed, and you'd end up so confused by the end of it that you wouldn't know if it was Tuesday or Workington. So I've previously done the short single door version with the later pod in Greenland livery, and the long single door version in Burnley and Pendle livery, both Mark 1s. This is another Mark 1, as I say, it's the two-door version, the short Leyland National, and this one's in London Transport livery. Catalogue number 16601, and this was one of the earliest national releases by EFE. It was released in April of 1994. So let's take it out of the box and see what we've got. So as usual with early EFE releases, until about 1995, this one doesn't display any registration plates. The standard releases, as I've said on reviews before, didn't have registration numbers displayed. Only the deluxe versions of the releases, but there wasn't a deluxe version of this one. It was just a standard model. So the model represents vehicle LS47, which in real life was registered KJD 547P. If you do want to put registration plates on one of these, the firm LBRT Transfers do a set of registration plates for this one. It's one of the EFE model sets. You have a look at their website, LBRT Transfers. As I say, they will do you a set of registration plates on waterslide transfers to fit this bus. So looking at the front, as always, it looks like a Leyland National should do. The detailing is perhaps a little bit heavy, but from a normal viewing distance, it looks perfectly reasonable. As I say, it does look like the bus it's supposed to represent. As I say, no registration plates, but there are some nice details. Start with the destination blind. That looks very good. The three-part arrangement as it was. This one's on route 111 to Kingston. Windscreen nicely done. This is one of the early Nationals with the divider on the windscreen and the windscreen wipers part of the moulding, along with on the side windows the sliding vents. But none of them are actually picked out in a relief colour. There were basically three phases of EFE Nationals. The intermediate phase was shown by this Pennine bus that I've just brought in, which I'll review separately. This one's got the dividing bar picked out but not the wipers, and also the side windows are picked out but the catches for the emergency window are not. Whereas on the Burnley and Pendle one, which was a later release that I reviewed, the catches for the emergency window and the wipers were picked out as well. But yeah, I will be reviewing that Pennine National separately, so keep an eye out for that one on my channel. All the other detail on the front is present. You've got the Leyland badge, the Leyland National badge there, and the pay as you enter letter in there as well. The fog light's nicely done with they're in a recess, but the recess is painted black to show the sort of hole they were in on the rail bus, and the fog light's picked out nicely. We go around to the side. The doors are well done on this. The middle pillar on the doors on the EFE National is part of the casting, and the edge, sort of edge pillars there are part of the glazing unit. On some buses they're not picked out properly, but on these they are. You can see they've picked the doors out in the right colour. Yellow for the front entrance door and red for the centre exit door. But as I say, on some of them, these side pillars, they've not picked the colouring out. They're just moulded on the plastic. But on this one, they're picked out nicely, as you would expect. Level of detailing, normal for an EFE National. It looks pretty good. As I say, the window sliders are not picked out in a relief colour. They're just part of the moulded windows, but they do look quite effective. And the transfer is nicely done. Legal lettering down there. Emergency door control instructions there in the fleet number, and of course the London Transport roundel. The wheels picked out in a sort of browny maroon colour as they would be in real life. Swing it around to the back, you've got the destination blind picked out there in black. The Nationals without a destination blind just had a recessed panel there, which is what's on the actual model. The ones with a destination blind have kind of a flat glass across, so there is a bit more relief than there should be, but you can't really see it because of the way it's painted. Backlight's nicely done. On these earlier ones, the grill for the cooling fan was just painted on in like a black square, or black rectangle should I say. You could try and put some sort of relief on that. If you can get a photo of a National, print it out at a sort of reasonable size, similar to the model, and then cut the grill out and glue it on. Just make it look a bit better. And there's no attempt to do the bottom part of the grill, which is on the bumper, so you could just mask off and paint that on if you wanted to. You can see a problem with this particular model. It's got a clouded rear window. I knew about that when I bought it. It was in the seller's list of faults with the model, so it doesn't perturb me too much. Nothing you can do with that. You can't clean it off. It won't come off. If you pick at it with a fingernail or something, you'll just end up scratching the glazing, so you can't get that off. What I have got in my spares box is a spare window for one of these, so I'll take the bus apart and put a new window in at some point. Not sure it's happened. The bus doesn't seem to have had any work done to it. It's probably just been stood near some solvents or something. Somebody's been using some glue and the fumes have actually entered the bus and managed to fog the window up. Sometimes if people have been gluing, they can run a bit of glue down. It does the same thing. But yeah, not quite sure how it's managed to happen, but it has done. And as I say, there's nothing you can do with it. If you haven't got a replacement window, the best thing I can suggest is you just park it sort of with the front outwards and the back against the wall or something. Or if you're repainting it, you could like put a back advert on and just paint over the window. That would work as well. Go around to the near side. Again, it looks pretty reasonable. When I do take the bus apart, what I will do is push the offside, should I say, the offside glazing back into place. As you can see, it's gone in slightly. It's kind of recessed itself in, so I'll push it back in properly. One problem with these EFE Nationals that I always mention is that the back axle looks a bit too short. The rear wheels tend to go in a little bit too much. But there's not much you can do about that unless you fancy putting a replacement axle on. The roof detail, as you would expect, pretty well done. And the later style of pod, shorter but higher, with the ventilation grills there. And as usual with an EFE National, very basic detailing on the underside. You've got a little bit of a representation there of the engine at the back and of the axle assemblies, but not much else. Interior done in one colour, as you would expect. You can see some of the relief on the seats to try and replicate the moulded PVC of the real thing, but they're done in a brown colour. Not particularly accurate for this bus. The back of them would have been brown, but the seats themselves were kind of blue based maquette in these buses. But again, you could take it apart and repaint it. All in all, a pretty nice model. It would benefit from registration plates. As I say, you can buy them from LBRT. Just move the light around so you can see the bus a little bit better. So the question of price, this one only cost me about £10 plus postage because of the problem with the rear window that I've already shown you. The going rate for them, I had a look on eBay earlier on today for the purposes of this video. I'm doing this in March 2024, and the cheapest one I could find on eBay was £13.95 including postage, and the most expensive was £15.79 plus £3.50 postage, so just over £19. So between £14 and £19 seems to be the going rate for them. I had a look at a couple of model dealers as well, their websites, and their prices were within that range as well. So it's £14 to £19. Not bad for a London model. Normally London models are more sought after, but this one, 16601, the early Leyland National release by EFE, doesn't seem to be that sought after. The prices are quite low. But yeah, well worth having in your collection if you want one to repaint. It did go on to further service, these London dual door Nationals, with a variety of other people. Pride of the Road in Yorkshire spring to mind, along with Chase buses of the Wolverhampton area. But yeah, well worth having. As always, thank you for joining me. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.